Martin from the Philippines. We're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So, in this quick live, we'll be talking about money. And in this money series, we're going to be talking about a lesson I learned. This was just 2 weeks ago. So, this one, let me add this to the stage. This one is an event coffee moment with mentors I had November 26. Particularly, I'll be talking about one mentor, Mr. Jong Merida. So, he's the third one on the right. And I'll be talking about something, a lesson he said 99% of Filipinos are not financially sustainable until death. Now, what does that mean in simple words? It means 99% of Filipinos will run out of money before death. So, what does this mean? Now, a lot of people might be reacting like, are you overhyping? Is this crazy? I'm highly skeptical. And I welcome that. So normally here in the Philippines, and maybe you can relate to in your country or place where you are, how does a person die? So we normally think or we just go by feeling like, ah, yeah, natural death, a person just dies. Now, statistically, if you just think about it a little more, most people end up dying in a hospital. So aside from natural causes of death, statistically, a lot of them end up dying because of medical reasons. So in the hospital, and then when we relate that to money, people run out of money before they die. We start to see, and maybe from people we know, family, friends, colleagues, that if you look at their situation, and this is hard to talk about, a lot of times people run out of money. So if you know of an experience where someone had to borrow money, they didn't just run out of money, they even needed more or extra just to pay the medical bills. In some cases, natural death as well, they still have to pay the hospital even if the person passes on already. So I'll share this in a quick story, the way Mr. Jong Merida shared it with us that day. So what happened was he had this former boss in this Swiss company, Switzerland, and there was a painting that he noticed. And here in the Philippines, it was a painting of the Bayanihan spirit. So you could see maybe a province, a Bahay Kubo, where your neighbors, your fellow countrymen are helping you move the house. So Mr. Jong Merida's boss, again with sensitivity, asked him, are you a typical sensitive macho Filipino man? And Sir Jong, to keep the long story short, said, just tell me the answer. I can take it. And then what he said was, the problem with Filipinos is that Bayanihan spirit, it does have good qualities such as resilience, adaptability, survival, helping each other. There is a downside though. So, one of the biggest reasons why there was a big difference between the Filipinos and in Europe, like where the boss was speaking from, was it was because of the weather. So, I didn't expect that answer. Very interesting insight. So, why? Because of the weather, he said, you Filipinos don't plan. So, what do you mean? So, this was new to me. I didn't understand. He said the weather over there in Europe, and for some people who have been there and can relate, the weather is so unforgiving. It's so harsh. It's cold that the first thing they do when they wake up is they check the weather. Because if they don't, you can die. So that's how harsh the weather is. You go outside, the snow, it's 0 or -degrees. Literally, you can die. So what do they do there in Europe? This Swiss boss in Switzerland said they plan, because if they don't do that, again, their future is at stake. Sometimes even their day is at stake. They can die. So The lesson over here is with that bayanihan spirit, or that no sense of planning that Filipinos have, which ends up in this, there is no continuity. So, what's the solution? Just to keep it constructive, it's just a lack of planning. So, what can we do? We have awareness now, and then we can stop the cycle. So, we can do this through financial independence. You can check out the money playlist here in Real Talk Lifeline. You can check out the videos there on financial freedom, the money jars, like that. Again, as a financial planner, like a wealth manager for the past 11 years, this is the work I do. So it's also easy to do. It's also easy not to do this practice. So it's just taking care of your finances while planning and looking forward. Just like how you take care of your health, how you take care of your relationships, and for some of you, even your spirituality, that higher purpose over there. So, this was just a quick live I wanted to share on the difference. And very surprisingly, I didn't get that and expect that insight that Filipinos are like this because of the weather. So, since the weather, it's easy for us to just get by. We take it for granted usually. We help each other, which is a good thing. But the problem is, we end up not helping ourselves. We end up not planning. There's no sense of continuity. And you can test it yourself. You can check your own family, your friends, relatives, colleagues, and see if this is actually true in your life. If it is, now you know what to do. So, planning, awareness, and you could stop the cycle, right? So people who could relate, the last one of the last insights he shared, he called it the bibingka generation. So bibingka is this local food where you cook it by fire on top in the oven, but there's also fire below it. So what that means symbolically is a lot of Filipinos, they end up supporting their aging parents financially, but when they have their own families, their kids, there's also fire below. So financially, they have to support their kids. So both generations. Now, if you don't want to be like that, then you can learn the lesson. So before I end, I'll share the notes quickly over here. So you can just pause it, screenshot uh, over here, just so you get a good visual of it. So thank you. I love you, and I will see you next time.